Hi there, my name's Tom, and today is an update, knife review type stuff. People seem to like the knifey videos. This is the Buck 113 Ranger in the sheath that it came with. And while I had no real notes over the knife, I did have a couple of notes about the sheath. So we'll start off with the knife itself. Its overall blade length is a respectable approximate 3 inches in overall length. Riveted hardwood scales with a nice brass bolster. Obviously, I've been using it. There's some schmutz on there, some wax, and probably some resin. And overall, it's actually a pretty decent knife. I'm pretty happy with it. Middle of the road. It's roughly a $90 knife, between $80 and $90. Now, here's the sheath that it comes with. As you can see, it is stitched and riveted. It looks like it's probably a 5 or 6 or 0.5 or 0.6 millimeter thread. Definitely machine stitched. And they actually punch the rivets right through the thread. I don't like that because that is a point where the that's a point of failure on the stitching. Now the belt loop, they did that pretty well, despite the light thread that they use for probably for the machine. They did double stitch that top part there, which is good because that's the point of tension you have to deal with when pulling the sheath out, because all of the force is now distributed across double thread instead of just one stitch line. I mean, they use the same holes, but they backstitched all the way across the top. Now, my biggest complaint... Okay, now, obviously with a leather sheath, you want plenty of tension there when it's a friction hold. And over time, it loosens and wears and becomes easier to get the knife out. However, the oversized nature of this belt loop creates a lot of movement and twist. And so when you're dealing with that really tight fit that a friction sheath requires, you get that twist, and now it's actually hanging up, and you kind of create a little bit more struggle than I think is necessary in order to pull your knife out of the sheath. So like I said, it's well constructed in terms of materials used. It's well thought out in terms of where to reinforce stitching, but execution could be a little bit better. Another positive. I'm trying to... Well, I can't really get a good view of it. Let me see if I... Oops, my bad. I can't really shine a light in there right now, but there is a plastic form in here because this is... Well, this is a Vegetan leather. It's a little bit on the softer side. I think they wax loaded it, or maybe they acryliced it. But they have a plastic form on the inside of this sheath. So here's the sheath that I made and wet molded to the knife. And you can hear it snaps in. I am using this rivet here to reinforce just a part of the welt that sticks out inside of this brass bolster. This is a prototype. It does have room for improvement. I've double stitched both top and bottom. I do have a couple of parts that I think could have been done better, but again, this is prototyping. As you can see, I ran my stitch line right up to the edge of where that rivet burr sets. So, there's that. That could have been done better. Just pull it back one set of stitching holes. I think if I do it again, that's my primary problem that I need to fix. There's a little bit of wax there from when I wax loaded it. I have a better set of rivet setters now, and so I think I'll put a little more effort into cleaning up how the rivets look after they're set. I'll probably delete this middle rivet entirely. It's not really necessary. And this here, I think I would just run it up higher. Instead of ending it here, I would probably have the front of my sheath come up another 1/4 of an inch to a 1/2 of an inch in order to get the just get some more reinforcement on the snap. I mean, it's not falling out. It's not going to fall out. Maybe over time it'll wear out enough that it will. And I don't want that to happen. And just having more reinforcement isn't going to add a whole lot of cost. And then, it's just a matter of cleaning up the sanding job, the edging. Making sure that you have a nice, clean, smooth curve there. I suppose I should get a belt sander for that. Now, we talked about the belt loop on the other one, so let's look at this one. Yeah, mine is maybe half the size of the other. The belt, 1 1/4 inch or 1.5 inch belt, fits comfortably in there, but with very little play. So when it's pressed up against your body, there is not going to be any twisting. And that's another, and so, it's not going to fight coming out, even if I do add that extra material up here to tighten it up. Now, here's another consideration. This sheath takes up a lot less space than this one. I did do a contrast color stitching, and that does make it stand out some. But if I just did dark brown on dark brown, we're still remaining very low profile. And another thing is I have this buffalo skin pouch I made in a similar brown color. And this knife fits right between it. And now I'm staying very low profile while adding a pocket to my pants. And now, like I said, you're just not calling attention to yourself saying, hey, I have a knife. And you even have space to get a belt loop on your pants in there, so this won't slide back and forth on your waist. It'll stay exactly where you want it. Ultimately, I'm really happy with the knife. I'm much happier with it now that I've made a better sheath for it. Understand, if you pay somebody to make you a sheath like that, even the prototype one here with its little bits of flaws, that's probably going to cost you more than this knife itself. So whether or not you want to make that investment, that's entirely up to you. So what do I think overall? It's pretty good for an everyday carry fixed blade. It's really easy to remain low profile. It has some problems with the sheath, but if you're a hobbyist with a little bit of talent, you can fix that problem yourself. Ultimately, though, I still prefer that as my everyday carry knife. Like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments, and have a great day.